You would never bet against Patrick Mahomes, and the NFL certainly hasn't.
It's good to be back on the field. As a competitor, I want to be out there with my guys. My goal, obviously, I want to be ready for week 1.
This is the biggest news in football that Patrick Mahomes looks like he's on track.
We think of him as Superman, and he is in so many ways.
They ain't stopping me.
Welcome to NFL Live. I'm Michelle Smallman, joined by Mike Tannenbaum and Andrew Hawkins. We have a lot to get to today, but first, let's start in Kansas City. With training camp just under 2 weeks away, Chiefs star quarterback Patrick Mahomes is continuing his rehab of a torn ACL suffered in December. Will we see Mahomes lining up under center in week 1? Let's hear from the man himself.
I've said this since the beginning, is being ready to go week 1. I can't predict the future, and I know that it's a long process. It's not just my decision, but at the same time, I'm going to get the doctors and the coaches every single opportunity they can to let me be out there week 1. I don't want to miss that game because I wanted the team that won the division while we were gone, and you want to be out there and ready to go with your teammates. I always have a win now mentality. You know, like, you never know when it's going to be your last chance. You never know what's going to be your last game. You never know when it's going to be the best team that you've ever played on or not. You got to go out there and just maximize those opportunities because you never know what's your next chance to go out there and get a Super Bowl ring.
A lot of history came to an end for the Chiefs last year. 10 straight playoff appearances, 10 straight 10-win seasons, 9 straight AFC West titles, and 7 straight conference championship games. They essentially called it the Arrowhead Invitational. It's a streak matched only by Brady and Belichick in New England. So, Mike T, what should the plan be for Mahomes and for this offense as he returns from this injury?
Michelle, take your time. Now, I've been around a lot of quarterbacks that came back from a similar injury, and they will tell you that they're not fully cleared until they go to the ground, they've been hit, and they get back up. It's one thing to be medically clear to say, hey, he can go out there and compete, but we know, especially with the left knee of a quarterback, to throw bodies at him, make him uncomfortable. So he's got to be able to get over that hump, which he will at some point. There's no question about it. But I would take, if I was Kansas City, let's take our time. And this team has really changed. Eric Bieniemy's now the offensive coordinator. Kenneth Walker was brought over from Seattle. Look, there's a lot of question marks about, Rasheed Rice, his health. We know that Travis Kelce's been busy with some other things this summer.
That's right.
So this passing game is a work in progress. Let's lean on the run game. That's what Eric Bieniemy's been known for. And this way, it'll give Patrick Mahomes some time. Again, not that he won't be ready to go physically, but psychologically, he has to get over that hump.
Yeah, I love the fact that Eric Bieniemy is back in the building. I mean, when you look at Patrick Mahomes, to your point, Mike T, coming off of this injury, there's going to be a little bit of an evolution process. He'll be 31 this season. He's coming off of an ACL injury. Yes, he's had injuries in the past, but you got to understand, this could be a different version of Patrick Mahomes. Not to say it's going to be a worse version, but it's going to take time getting used to Patrick Mahomes not being as mobile as we're typically used to seeing him in this offense. My biggest question around the Kansas City Chiefs are their wide receivers, and that has been the case for multiple seasons now. They could win it, absolutely, anytime that they have 15 in the lineup. But at the same time, when they were at their best, and that dynasty was truly clicking, this is an offense that had Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. Two people that you cannot leave in one-on-one, but you don't have a choice but to because they're both on the field together. Patrick Mahomes coming to grips with the version that he will be this season until he's at 100% health is an important thing because Kelce is aging. Yes, Rasheed Rice is back in the lineup. Yes, Xavier Worthy is there. But none of them are the receiver that Tyreek Hill was in his heyday yet. And again, with an aging Travis Kelce, the weaponry on the outside is my biggest question mark around the Kansas City Chiefs, but I do expect them to still be good.
Well, Hawk, taking all those things into consideration, should there be a sense of urgency for this Chiefs team to win right now?
Yes, because that's the mentality of the Kansas City Chiefs. But to Mike T's point, you have to allow Patrick Mahomes to heal, get to 100%, and maybe not do all the things that you're used to doing with 15 in the lineup. Because his health, not only for this season, for seasons to come, is absolutely the most important thing for this franchise. And like I said, there's going to be an evolutionary period where they're going to have to figure out, okay, what is the best way to deploy Patrick Mahomes, where he is with his health, where he is with his age in this offense this season until we can settle in with everything else around it.
Yeah, Hawk, to me, there's a tremendous sense of urgency. Look, Andy Reid, we know, is much closer to the end of his career than the beginning. Certainly the same for Travis Kelce. You look on the other side of the ball, arguably Trent McDuffie was the best corner in the NFL. He's gone. Jalen Watson's gone. So their window is still open because they have 15, but to me, it is closing. And as Patrick Mahomes said himself, guys, they lost the division to Denver. And again, I know he wants to be ready for week 1, and they're playing Denver. It's a long season, but without question, to me, this is a very consequential year for this Chiefs run.
They were 6-11 last season. They're coming off their worst record since 2012. That's a year before Andy Reid became their head coach. Well, it's time to talk wide receivers, guys, because ESPN Jeremy Fowler once again surveyed executives, coaches, and scouts to determine the top 10 wideouts in the NFL. Jamar Chase tops the list for a second straight year, ahead of Justin Jefferson and Jackson Smith and Jigba. 26 different receivers got at least one vote this year. Hawk, we'll start with you. Do you agree with how the top 3 shakes out?
You know, I can't help but agree. I think it's all about perspective, right? I could swap Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, because when I look at wide receivers, I'm grading off of a bunch of things. Number one is natural receiver ability. That's run after catch, that's catching the ball, that's separation. There is competitiveness, which is effort and how much they put into being the best week in and week out. There is athleticism, right? Height, weight, speed, all the traditional things. There is versatility. There is consistency, right? And all these things, when you look at Jamar Chase and you look at Justin Jefferson, like one might lack one place where the other one is really gifted. Like Jamar Chase's skill level probably isn't at the level of Justin Jefferson's, whereas Justin Jefferson's athleticism isn't quite the level of Jamar Chase, but at the same time, when they make up for it, is they're off the charts at pretty much everything, which means no matter where you put them, no matter what the scenario is, if their quarterback is halfway decent, more times than not, they're going to be the best player on the field. So it's all a matter of perspective, what you prefer in a wide receiver, but I truly think they're both 1A and 1B and truly interchangeable depending on how you look at it.
Well, let's drill down on number 3, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Here's what an anonymous AFC exec said about JSN. Quote, Jackson Smith and Jigba is super talented, but this is the first year he really played outside. If he does it well, and plays well, he can jump to the top. Mike T, do you think JSN deserves consideration for that top spot after winning a Super Bowl?
No, but boy, I'd love to have him on our team. I agree with Hawks. Those other two guys to me are really like all-worldly. Look, JSN has had incredible production in 3 years, 282 receptions, but of the three, of Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and JSN, he has the least amount of yards per catch at 12.6. Again, we're quibbling here. He's a great player. He's a great route runner. I think the other thing that's going to be interesting is every time he lines up, he's going to be double teamed. He's going to be the focus of the opposing defense. And to me, that's the interesting part of how he's going to evolve, because certainly Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, you're seeing that safety shade over almost on every play. So I have no doubt that he'll continue to be productive, but that's going to be the next challenge he's going to have to deal with.
And he was awesome last season. JSN had only one drop last season, the fewest among wideouts with at least 75 catches. Hawk, what do you think about JSN and his production last season and him being number 3 on this list?
I'm with Mike T. Now, look, I actually will. When you talk about JSN, and I think for a lot of people that watch him, because